Has Diddy hired protesters to scream free Diddy outside of the court? Plus, we got some insight from inside the courtroom. Let's get to it. Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signore. So happy to have Emily Hagan back to the show. How are you doing?
I'm tired.
I bet. My gosh. So you've been there every day at this trial, in or out, sort of getting a sense of this whole circus, really. Is it safe to call this a circus?
Some days more than others, yeah, especially outside.
And it's freezing, you were telling me.
Today it's 50 degrees and raining. I stayed out. I was trying my best to make sure I got a shot of Kid Cudi walking into the courtroom. So I literally got soaked, but I got the video. It's not a good one, but I got it.
You did get the video. I make sure here I'm always on your feed. If you guys aren't following her over on Insta, make sure you do, because you are giving really good details. And yeah, I love that took me an hour to get. I love this kind of.
I was upset because I was on live, so it's like blurry. I should have, but my live, it was fun for the people that were live with me.
Everyone's waiting for it. I love it. He just like, I'm smoking. I don't care. What was your vibe on that before we get into the protesters? He had a vibe, don't you think? Like, he did not give an F.
It was his vibe. Like, he's an emo rapper.
That's the other thing. It's interesting. They're like, you got played by Cassie. Isn't that kind of his brand?
100%. He's like the lover boy.
Yeah.
He was like saying that he loved her. He admitted that on the stand.
Were you there for his testimony?
Yeah, I was in overflow today, but it was.
So what was it like? 'Cause you guys have a camera at least, so you can see. So what was it like seeing him there in reality?
I thought he was charismatic. So when he was testifying, Diddy sat back, like in his chair. And then when the previous witness, which was an ex-assistant, was testifying, Diddy was sitting forward and nodding his head like the whole time, because the former assistant said it was the best job he's ever had in his life, and that Diddy was his biggest inspiration. And Diddy was like nodding. But then when Cudi got up there, Cudi just kind of like, Diddy just sat back and just kind of stared at him.
It's weird. It's like he still like controls some of the people, because I read that his assistant was still like saying bad stuff, but not too bad, and still at the end kind of remaining positive. Did that surprise you?
Which one are you talking about? George Kaplan?
Yeah, where was the second guy? The one who was like, this was the best experience. He called it his Harvard. Didn't he call his experience with Diddy his Harvard?
that guy, some of the quotes I wrote down today, that guy literally was Diddy's biggest simp we've seen this entire trial. He said Diddy made him into the man he is today. Like, he loves Diddy. It was crazy.
Who doesn't love Diddy?
The defense, and then the guy behind me was like, why didn't the defense, like, why weren't they tougher on him? I'm like, why would they cross-examine him when he's saying everything they want to hear?
So who do you think is winning overall right now? As you're seeing now, we're a few weeks in. People were complaining there's not enough RICO, but I feel like they're finally starting to get to those RICO charges. Are you feeling it now? There's arson.
Because the assistant admitted that he would clean up the rooms of the baby oil and stuff. So he would clean it up. So now they're showing that some of the workers would do some of this work. But today they didn't prove that Diddy was the one that blew up the car, because the DNA was linked back to a female, and whoever did it destroyed the surveillance cameras. So to this day, Kid Cudi doesn't know who blew up his car.
Right, but the DNA on the Molotov cocktail would have been blown up. There's DNA in the car. That doesn't mean anything.
That's what the defense was trying to make a big thing out of. I mean, all signs point to Diddy, but the defense tried to make it the jury. So my friend was in the courtroom, and she said that the jury, she walked out and was like, Diddy gonna walk. She's like, the jury was like smiling during George Kaplan's thing, and they were like really into the defense, I guess, today. But that was just one person's opinion. I wasn't in there, but she felt like the jury is kind of being swayed by the defense.
Interesting. So they're smiling sort of along with Diddy at times.
Yeah, that's what she noticed today. And then she said the woman, and she looked over and the other woman had written the same note down. All of the YouTubers in the courtroom the last couple of days have been saying that like Diddy's winning, but I haven't been in the actual courtroom, so I'm not observing the jury.
Yeah, it's weird. When I see it all, it seems clear they are establishing the RICO they're starting to finally do it. I think they are. Like, it's clear, but yeah, I mean, anything could go. As confident as people seem to be, it takes one person on that jury to be like, nope.
I think they're establishing the RICO now because they're calling all the assistants up and they're admitting to doing a lot of these. I think today the biggest thing was that Kid Cudi said that this woman, Capricorn, called him and said that Diddy and his other accomplice forced her into a car, kidnapping her, and then took her to Kid Cudi's house. And because Diddy had just found out that Cassie and Cudi were a thing. So they forced this woman, Capricorn. She basically said he kidnapped her, put her in a car, and then she called him from the car and told him what was going on. And she said that Diddy was in his home. So
That's a
now
pretty important witness who's
pretty
now
big.
And she's testifying on Tuesday.
Capricorn. So yeah, Kid Cudi just kind of set up Capricorn's testimony. And another big thing that I think happened was Cassie Ventura's mother saying that Diddy once extorted Cassie for $20,000 and said,
Yes.
if you don't pay me the $20K, then I'm releasing the sex tapes.
That was a huge one. There's been
huge.
a lot of little pieces that do really explain what this is. And it seems pretty irrefutable to me. But then bringing it to this point now, he's out there putting free Diddy shirts all over it, and 50 Cent's making the jokes about it.
TMZ literally took the story.
TMZ's on it. Everybody's on it, dude.
That's kind of annoying.
Started on Emily's Substack, which you guys should go support, the True Fun. But you without giving too much, because I want people to go over and support you on Substack. That's how Emily's able to do this, through her amazing subscribers and people.
And it's been kind of
please support.
You're
crushing it out there in New York. I want to make sure people come over to your Substack. I'll put it in the link.
Sweet.
Go follow. But just to tease and get people excited to read more about this, you did some digging. These free Puff, free Diddy, it's all sort of some coin that connects to his family. So it does seem like it is a Diddy supported thing.
I reached out to Diddy's team and they said it's not related to Diddy directly or his legal team. So then when I dug a little deeper, I got into the terms and conditions of the Diddycoin. Because if you notice on the t-shirts, it's either free Puff or free Diddy, but it has a $sign in front of the D. So that took me to a coin on the Solana blockchain. And at the time, I think it had like a $3 million market cap. Don't quote me on that. It's in the article. But then I looked at the terms and conditions of the website, and it said that the Diddy coin is the official coin owned by Sean Combs Productions. It was Combs Brothers Productions LLC, which is owned exclusively by relatives of Sean Combs, certainly of his children. And then because I run the page Kanye's Post, I just happened to have the screenshot where Diddy, from his own account, posted the Diddy coin on May 8th, and Kanye retweeted it. Ever since my video went viral, that tweet has been deleted. Someone deleted it from Diddy's official X account, but because Kanye's Post has all these posts that Kanye posts saved, that's how I was able to connect the dots. And TMZ is probably not going to credit me, but Hollywood Reporter did, which I appreciated.
I mean, they're reporting more on 50 Cent, who ripped the story too. But look, people can joke and all this stuff, but it's interesting to see who's paying for what, like because that's a big question of this.
If the kids someone's making money on that meme coin, and I think for Ye to retweet that coin out to his 33.3 million followers at the time, he was also promoting that coin. And Diddy's child, King, I shouldn't say child, he's an adult. Diddy's son, King, was hanging out with Kanye during the Super Bowl Sunday. And that was the time when Kanye was meeting up with all of these huge crypto moguls in the space and was planning to launch his own coin called the Swastika coin. So I think King might have met somebody during those meetings, or maybe he got Kanye into the idea. There's some like overlap there, because I definitely think it's his kids that are running the coin.
And they weren't there a few days, but now they showed up. There was questions of whether there was a conflict there, but now they're back.
They weren't there today, but I think they were there yesterday. And then the guy on the Hollywood Reporter, the one that they used as the cover photo in the free Puff t-shirt, I interviewed him yesterday. He's Charlucci Finney. He calls himself Diddy's godbrother, and he said it just means he's like a close friend. And he gave me a 7-minute interview, and I cleared things up with him. He said he's not the one behind the Free Diddy protesters, because he was getting a lot of the blame, because there was rumors that he was planning to hand out t-shirts, and he told me that every Sunday in Harlem he hands out free Puff t-shirts. He's been doing it since Puff was arrested, but he has nothing to do with the Diddy coin, he told me.
Interesting. There really are people though who believe this and want him to go free. It's an interesting marketing angle, and I've seen online for people who aren't like paying attention to the case. People just go, "Oh, well, that must be true." There's a lot of pocket of people who just sort of see it on even 50 Cent. They might be like, "Oh, I guess there's something going here." I mean, what is your thought overall? Do you feel like Diddy is going to go away after all this? Does he deserve it in your opinion? What do you think?
I think a lot of the people, well, first of all, I think that me exposing that protester thing accidentally did a little bad PR to Diddy's team for a bit. I think overall, we're not seeing that much public support. We see a few people outside the courthouse screaming free Diddy, but we're not seeing a ton of it. I think I don't think he's gonna walk completely free. I think they're definitely it's an 8-week trial. They're definitely gonna get him on a few charges. I don't think he's going away for life yet. I don't think so.
Man, it's getting interesting. It's getting interesting.
Yeah.
He's feeling a little bit of that stress though. Is that a good image of
today? He did that today. He actually, because I was in the overflow room, so I was in the front row, so I could see the TV. And at one point, he was annoyed at something his defense attorney was asking the witness. It was about I think it's because the defense attorney accidentally set up the RICO, because he was asking George Kaplan, the former assistant or whatever his position, administrator, if he cleaned up the baby oil. And Diddy starts looking at the lawyer, and he goes like this, and he puts his hands in his head and starts shaking. And I was like, whoa. And everyone was, oh my God, did you see that? So I think Diddy at that point got nervous that he established the RICO.
Were you there when he did this moment?
I was.
Is this an accurate interpretation?
I mean, why does that look like Kid Cudi and Diddy combined?
Ask ChatGPT, but still, it's close enough. We don't
get
funny.
That was day one.
It looks like Diddy meets Epstein.
He kind of does. No, for sure. That was the first day he did that, when he saw his family.
Love is still loving.
But
does he still have this positive energy at times throughout the day?
Yeah, yesterday he was like bopping around, like kind of moving. Today he seemed a little more nervous, maybe because Kid Cudi was on the stand.
Yeah, he couldn't control him. It was clear that was another alpha. It was like, I'm not dealing with your shit.
Is Kid Cudi an alpha?
Well, he came in and told it seemed like told him didn't cover for him, you know?
No, but then he kind of like at the end was like saying some nice stuff about him. He wasn't horrible. I feel like, because at first I was like, you know how Cudi has that song, waiting for the funeral? I was like, uh-oh, this could be Cudi's funeral. He better be careful. But he didn't say anything, I don't think, too bad that's going to make Diddy that mad and want to blow up his car again.
Yeah, he doesn't want to get his car blown up. That's true. I guess he's not that alpha. An alpha wouldn't have cared if his car got blown up again. He would still...
And then Cudi was like, yeah, I really wanted to fight him. And then the defense tried to use that against Cudi, but Cudi didn't. Cudi just thought about fighting him. He wasn't going to really pull up. You could tell the real gangster in the situation was Diddy, not Cudi.
Craziness. Well, I appreciate your insight. Please come back next week. I appreciate all this.
So funny.
You make sure you follow Emily over on Substack and on Instagram. Give her a follow and a like and a subscribe if you can. We'll have her back, I hope, next week as you stay there. You're sticking around there, yes? I'm
tired today, guys. Thanks for having me on, Andy.
Yes, you're sticking around. You're going to be covering this all the way through?
Yeah.
Wow, you're a trooper. That's hardcore.
Yeah, I know. I'm so desensitized.
Well, make sure you subscribe to her. Subscribe here. Hit that bell to all alerts if you haven't already.
So
hit the like. Leave the comments, all that jazz. Subscribe to her Substack, all the stuff. The link will be in the description in there. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you, Emily. Guys, stay tuned. We got a lot more coming your way.